Well, we're still about 3 hours from Bamiyan, and night is falling. We haven't got to Shabar Pass yet, and that's a bit of a worry, because we'll have to go through the pass in the dark, and the roads are very, very narrow. We've got to go. The chaps are calling us on, so see how it goes. Going through the pass now. This is pretty hair-raising stuff. The roads are very rough indeed, windy, steep, the snow around, so it's wet and icy, and the edge is only really sometimes a few inches away. There's a 1,000-foot drop or so below. The advantage of being in the dark is I can't actually see what's down there. Because at curfew, around about 10 o'clock, got to be off the roads. I don't think we're going to get to Bamiyan by 10 o'clock. There could be a few other active vehicle checkpoints along this road which trigger happy chats. One never knows what might happen.
This is the guest house, so who's there?
We arrive with 5 minutes to spare before curfew. Bamiyan, over 8,000 feet high in the Hindu Kush mountain range. The local Hazara people, descendants of Genghis Khan's Mongol invaders. It is known they were much persecuted by the Taliban for their Shia Muslim beliefs. It's also known the Taliban destroyed their beloved giant Buddhas. But I'm here to discover the true extent of the people's suffering and the untold story of how the Buddhas were destroyed. Well, it's 6 in the morning. Feeling pretty good, actually. Didn't sleep too well. It's pretty cold. But what a fantastic scene. And here, well, that's the niche, I guess, yes, that's the small Buddha. And the big Buddha over there. What, of course, is immediately apparent is that even with the Buddha villainously destroyed, the niches still have power. Bamiyan's 2 Buddha statues, in their scale unique in the world, stood a quarter of a mile apart, the larger at 180 feet high. Carved in the 3rd and 4th centuries, they survived for 1,600 years, until March 2001. Wow. Now this is the niche in which the big Buddha stood. There you see it. My God, this is a kind of incredible moment. I mean, the pictures one saw of this. At the time, this was destroyed almost exactly a year ago. The world's reaction was fascinating, of course. I mean, great works of art like this belong to the world, and that's particularly appropriate here, of course, because we're standing on the Silk Route, this great ancient road of commerce, culture, religion, linking all the civilizations of the 1st, 2nd century AD, China over there, Rome, Imperial Rome, India, goods coming up and down. The whole of this complex is a product of that movement of cultures. Religion came along this road from India, from Nepal. Buddhism arrived here. A Buddhist complex was built here, 1st, 2nd century AD. Later, the Buddhists cut these great and majestic statues. They're the product of world culture. Of course, I'm standing on a mount of the Buddha. The core, this is it. Here we have it, the sacred stone, the sacred image, reduced to rubble. Anyway, let's try over here. I think there's nothing carved in this at all. I mean, there's no, this is simply part of the core. Christ, there's a hand grenade under there. Why hasn't it been booby-trapped? Ooh. Well, I won't look at the other ones. You know, it's a dangerous place still. People keep telling me that. I forget it. It is.
I asked the people of Bamiyan how the Taliban went about destroying the Buddhas.
As soon as they entered any Hazara home, they asked us to leave. They asked us to put our shoes on, saying we had no right to live here. Then they put all our belongings in lorries and everything went. I know it all, I saw it all. People's belongings, animals and money. All they were allowed to wear was their own shoes.
It seems most of the town was moved out before the explosion started. Some people in a very brutal way.
Salam. So, could you ask her how they were forced to leave the village?
We were forced out at gunpoint. They took my child from me and threw him on the ground, hurting his leg and breaking it.
The Taliban crippled the boy.
They threw him onto the ground. We thought he had been crippled. We didn't know what to do. Wherever we went for treatment, we didn't have enough money to pay. When we finally came back here, we took him to hospital. But now, he can't move his leg at all.
At last, I meet a man who was present as the Taliban destroyed the Buddhas, who even, against his will, helped them.
First, the Taliban decided to remove the people from this area. Most people went away. The Taliban then could do what they wanted to do. The first thing they did was to fire rockets and bombs at the statues, very high explosive ones. But it didn't work. Later they brought 6 lorries of explosives. They forced me and some others to go with them as prisoners. They made us carry the explosives up and down, setting them in various bits of the Buddhas. There were Arabs and Pakistani engineers to plant the explosives and blow up the statues. This procedure took 25 days to 1 month from the first explosion. When it exploded, the whole region was on fire. The explosion was that strong. The whole of Bamiyan was on fire with the strength of this explosion.
What's happened to the fragments of the Buddhas?
All of them were sold. The pieces were sold. They took everything away, put them in vehicles and sold them.
Tell me just what he felt at the time about being forced to do this.
I was very angry. We all were. But we were not able to say anything. What could we say? There was no one except them, the Taliban. They terrorized people, put them in prisons. Even if we were angry, there was nothing we could do about it. They made the decisions, they brought the engineers from Pakistan. We couldn't do anything. Not only me, but everyone was angry. It was a symbol for Bamiyan, for Afghanistan, even for the world. This was a barbaric act.